Well, the 13th Parliament has concluded its first session and adjourned for the long Christmas break. The last sitting of this House that ended at exactly 8:02 p.m. with members of the August House sitting for 5.5 hours this afternoon. The House resumes its sittings on 14th of February 2023 unless members are called for a special sitting, which is likely next week on Wednesday and Thursday. I would love to compare the adjournment this afternoon to an end-of-term affair in schools, where students are examined and handed a report form to take back to their parents or guardians. Back in the years during my school days at Karori Primary School and Senior Chief Koinange High School, some truant students would, upon realization of their dismal performance in the end-of-term examinations, alter the report forms, ostensibly to give a false impression to their parents and guardians back at home. Those years, technology was not a big deal, and so falsifying the report forms would often slip through. I wonder what such students would do today, where report forms and performance records are sent to parents directly through email or WhatsApp platforms. Back to my topic on the 13th Parliament. On August 9th this year, you and I lined up at the polling stations to elect our lawmakers. From thousands who were vying for the parliamentary seats, only 337 made it to the National Assembly to represent the 290 single-member constituencies and 47 as women representatives or county member of parliament. Only 12 made the cut as nominated members from the thousands who are in the political parties' nomination lists in the National Assembly. So essentially, being a member of the 13th Parliament is a great privilege for the 349 members of the National Assembly and 67 in the Senate. My question then is, if an election was called today, would you elect the same person you voted for as a member of Parliament? If you would, why? If you wouldn't, why not? Well, it probably would be too early to pass judgment on the efficiency of our lawmakers thus far. The first session obviously was used to help the legislators, and particularly the newcomers, give them an opportunity to settle, learn the ropes, and familiarize themselves with the three constitutional roles of a member of parliament: representation, oversight, and legislation. During the first session of the 13th Parliament, members vetted and approved for appointment cabinet secretaries, principal secretaries, and the Inspector General of Police. Members also passed the IEBC Act Amendment Bill of 2022 to provide a framework of picking the selection panel that will recruit IEBC chairperson and commissioners, and debated a bill seeking to amend the 2010 Constitution to anchor the Constituency Development Fund in the country's supreme law. Some tidy amount of work by members of Parliament who were sworn in on 8th of September. For a parliamentary session that lasted 84 days, one of the highlights, in my opinion, was the process of electing speakers of the two chambers of Parliament and their deputies. It was more of a repeat match, pitting Kenya Kwanza against Azimio lawmakers after the bruising August 9th presidential contest that required the Supreme Court to rule with finality on the winner after Raila Odinga questioned the election of the then President-elect William Ruto. A close observation of the sittings in the National Assembly and the Senate gave some hope of a return of robust debates in the two chambers of Parliament. Hopefully, it will get better next year. However, like the 12th Parliament, the 13th Parliament runs the risk of being dictated to by the executive if my initial assessment is anything to go by. I would hope for a robust, courageous 13th Parliament that can check on the excesses of the executive and the judiciary while insisting on prudent management of public resources, good governance, and rule of law. While at it, I noticed that the National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula's 84 days in charge of the House brought some flair and grit in the proceedings. I also credit him for giving a good number of young parliamentarians an opportunity to contribute to House debates. But moving forward, I would challenge the lawmakers, when they return to the House in February next year, to prioritize legislations that would benefit ordinary citizenry, open up the country for business, create opportunities for the youth, especially on matters technology, lessen red tape and bureaucracy in access to government services, robustly play their oversight role, and call out wastage in the national and county governments. All this will be possible if lawmakers refuse to be an appendage of the executive and hopefully bring back the glory of parliaments of yesteryears. For now, look out for your MP. Let him give his or her first session report form, and don't allow them to give you a falsified report form. Na wasikuenjoy ati wako busy Nairobi, attending parliamentary business. Bunge imefungwa. It is on recess until 14th of February 2023. Watafute huko mitaani. That's my punchline.